The Draconian Armada disappeared on Earth, and the galaxy can't explain it. Commander Alec Hayes rubbed his tired eyes as he stared at the large screen showing the solar system. The red dots moving toward Earth made his stomach sink. There were hundreds of them, each representing a massive Draconian warship. He had been awake for nearly 48 hours since they first appeared past Neptune's orbit. "Another ship just dropped out of faster-than-light travel, sir," said Lisa Peterson, her voice steady despite the fear everyone in the North American Defense Command Center felt. "That makes 617 Draconian vessels." Alec nodded grimly. Earth's combined space fleet numbered just 32 ships. They were doomed if it came to a fight. "Any response to our messages?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. "None, sir. They're ignoring all communication attempts." The Draconians had appeared in human space 6 years ago, when their scouts first made contact with an Earth exploration vessel near Alpha Centauri. The meeting had been brief, cold, and threatening. The reptilian aliens made it clear they considered humans to be an inferior species, occupying valuable cosmic real estate. Since then, Earth had learned more about them through warnings from other alien species. The Draconians had conquered 12 different intelligent species across 37 star systems. They never negotiated. They simply arrived, attacked, and took what they wanted. "Get me, Dr. Martin," Alec ordered. Within moments, the tired face of Dr. Olivia Martin appeared on a side screen. The xenobiologist had dark circles under her eyes, and her brown hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail. "Please tell me you found something," Alec said. "Nothing that helps us fight them," Olivia replied. "Their biology makes them naturally resistant to radiation. Their scales act like built-in armor. Even their brains are different from ours or any other species we've encountered." "Different how?" "They lack certain structures we associate with empathy. They literally cannot feel compassion for non-Draconians. It's not just their culture. They're physically incapable of seeing us as anything but resources." Alec's desk. Phone rang. Only 3 people had that direct number. He picked it up. Hayes speaking. "This is President Clark. I've just finished the emergency United Nations session. We've reached a decision. We're activating Project Blackout." Alec felt a chill run through him. Project Blackout was a theoretical planetary defense system that had never been fully tested. It used Earth's magnetic field to create a kind of shield that might, protect against attack. But the energy requirements were enormous, and no one knew what side effects it might cause. "Sir, are you sure? We don't know if it will work, and the potential damage to our own infrastructure." "The Draconian fleet will be in firing range in 6 hours. The president cut in. "We're out of options. The order has been given. Start the preparations." The line went dead. Alec looked up at his team. "Project Blackout has been authorized. Begin the startup sequence." The room erupted into activity. Engineers rushed to computer stations. Power management specialists began redirecting energy from across the globe to the system's main nodes. "Sir," Lisa called out. "Captain Wright on the Pathfinder is requesting instructions." The Pathfinder was Earth's most advanced scout ship, currently hiding in the shadow of the moon to observe the Draconian approach. "Put him through." Captain Daniel Wright's face appeared on screen. He looked calm, but Alec could see the tension in his eyes. "Commander, we're tracking the enemy fleet. They're moving into attack formation. Looks like they're preparing for orbital bombardment. Stay hidden, Daniel. Keep recording everything. If this goes badly, someone needs to tell the story." "Understood." "Sir, Pathfinder staying dark." Daniel paused. "Good luck down there." The next 4 hours passed in a blur of activity. Around the world, power plants pushed to maximum output. The ocean's thermal energy conversion platforms, the solar arrays in the Sahara, the fusion reactors in Asia, all diverted their power to Project Blackout. Dr. Frank Miller, the project's creator, arrived at the command center looking disheveled. "We never tested it at this scale," he said as soon as he saw Alec. "We have no idea what will happen." "Will it protect Earth from their weapons?" "In theory. But the energy patterns I'm seeing..." He shook his head. "There's something strange happening with the planetary magnetic field. It's almost as if it's responding on its own. In the lunar shadow, Daniel Wright and his crew watched as the draconian ships formed a perfect sphere around Earth. Their green-hulled ships were sleek, with forward sections that resembled the heads of the reptilian beings. Who commanded them? They're charging weapons, reported Susan Bennett, the Pathfinder's sensor officer. Energy readings are off the charts. Daniel nodded. Keep recording. Whatever happens, the galaxy needs to know. On Earth, the Project Blackout system reached 90% power. The magnetic field detectors showed unusual fluctuations. Something's wrong, Dr. Miller said, looking at his readings. These patterns, they're not from our system. Is it the Draconians? Alec asked. No, it's coming from Earth itself. The magnetic field is changing in ways I can't explain. In orbit, the Draconian ships suddenly stopped their weapons charging sequence. Through the Pathfinder's telescopes, Daniel could see unusual light patterns playing across the green hulls. Sir, they're scanning something, Susan said. They're directing some kind of deep scan at the planet. The arrogant lizards, Daniel muttered, checking to see what they want to steal before they kill us all. But then something completely unexpected happened. A faint blue light seemed to emanate from Earth's atmosphere. It was barely visible at first, like a thin mist rising from the oceans, forests, and even cities. The blue glow grew stronger, rising higher into the atmosphere. What are we seeing? Daniel asked. I don't know, Susan replied, her voice filled with wonder. It's like the planet is glowing. The Draconian ships suddenly began moving, breaking their perfect formation. Some tried to pull away from Earth, while others fired up their faster-than-light drives. They're retreating, Daniel exclaimed, but they weren't fast enough. The blue light expanded outward in a gentle wave. As it touched each Draconian ship, something impossible happened. The ships didn't explode. They simply faded away, becoming transparent before disappearing completely. Ship after ship vanished as the blue wave passed through them. Within minutes, the entire Draconian armada, over 600 of the most powerful warships in the galaxy, was gone. In the North American Defense Command Center, alarms were blaring. Project Blackout never fully activated, Dr. Miller said, staring at his screens in disbelief. Power levels only reached 93% before something else took over. What took over? Alec demanded. I don't know. But whatever it wasn't human technology. President Clark called again. Hayes, what just happened? Sir, I don't know how to explain this, but the Draconian fleet is gone. Not destroyed. Gone. And it wasn't our defense system that did it. Then what did? Alec looked at Dr. Miller, who shook his head in bewilderment. Sir, Alec said slowly, I think Earth just defended itself. As the blue glow faded from the atmosphere, a message came in from space monitoring stations around the world. Strange energy readings were being detected at the edge of the solar system. Something was happening out there. Something that would soon change humanity's understanding of their place in the universe forever. On the Pathfinder, Daniel Wright stared at the empty space where a mighty alien armada had been moments before. His communications officer tried repeatedly to contact Earth, but all channels were filled with confused chatter. Captain, Susan said quietly, the sensors are picking up fragments, tiny pieces of Draconian ships scattered across Earth's orbit. Daniel looked at the readings. Get me samples. Whatever happened here, the galaxy is going to want answers, the Pathfinder moved out from the moon's shadow to collect the mysterious fragments. No one on board realized that they were witnessing just the beginning. Earth had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Draconian armada disappeared on Earth, and the galaxy can't explain it. 3 weeks had passed since the Draconian fleet vanished. Earth scientists worked day and night to understand what had happened, but answers were few. The fragments, collected by Captain Wright's Pathfinder, showed strange properties. Sometimes they seemed solid, and other times they partially faded from sight, as if they were halfway between existing and not existing. Alec Hayes stared out the window of his office at the clear blue sky. It looked so normal, so peaceful, hard, To believe that just weeks ago, humanity had been on the brink of extinction. His phone rang. Commander Hayes speaking. Sir, this is air traffic control. We have a situation. An unidentified spacecraft just entered Earth's atmosphere. It's not draconian. The design is, well, sir, we've never seen anything like it. Alec's heart raced. Have they made contact? Yes, sir. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. They're identifying themselves as representatives of the Galactic Council. The Galactic Council. Every human who followed space news knew about them. The Council was a group of the oldest, most advanced species in the galaxy. They had rejected Earth's application for membership 5 years ago, calling humans too aggressive and unpredictable. And now they were here. Where are they landing? The new international spaceport in Geneva, sir. The President has already been notified. He wants you there. 6 hours later, Alec stood beside President Clark on a landing pad as the alien ship touched down. It was beautiful, shaped like a silver leaf with glowing blue lines running along its surface. Remember, the President whispered, we know nothing about what happened to the Draconians. We stick to that until we understand more ourselves. The ship's door opened smoothly. Out stepped the strangest collection of beings Alec had ever seen. There were 12 aliens, each from a different species. Some had too many limbs, others too few. Some had skin that glowed, others were covered in fine fur or feathers or scales. The one in front looked almost human, except for the pale blue skin and eyes that were completely black. This being stepped forward. I am Zorthal of the Arcturian Federation, High Commissioner of the Galactic Council, the alien said in perfect English. We have come seeking answers about an event that has shaken the galaxy. President Clark stepped forward. I am President Clark of the United Earth Nations. We welcome you to Earth, though I confess your visit is unexpected. The Council has shown little interest in our planet until now. Zorthal's expression didn't change. 3 weeks ago, a Draconian attack fleet disappeared in Earth orbit. 617 warships, gone. The shockwave of their disappearance was felt across the quantum communication network. Every spacefaring race is now asking the same question. What did Earth do? We defended ourselves, the President replied simply. With what technology? Asked another alien, this one covered in golden scales. The Draconians possessed the most advanced weapon systems in the known galaxy. Nothing should have been able to defeat them so completely. Alec spoke up. Perhaps you should have shared some of that advanced technology with us when we asked to join your council. Then we wouldn't have had to develop our own solutions. The President shot him a warning look, but Zorthal seemed almost amused. Indeed. It seems we greatly underestimated humanity's resourcefulness. But understand our position. The manner in which the Draconian fleet vanished has never been observed before. The ships did not explode. They were not destroyed. They simply ceased to exist. And you want to know how we did it? President Clark said. Yes, but more importantly, we need to know if it can happen again. And to whom? While the diplomatic meeting continued in Geneva, Dr. Olivia Martin and Dr. Frank Miller worked in a top-secret laboratory beneath the Arizona desert. They had been studying the Draconian fragments non-stop since they were brought back. Look at this, Olivia said, pointing to a screen showing magnified cells from a piece of tissue found in one fragment. The cellular structure is breaking down in a pattern I've never seen before. It's like the cells are being rewritten. Frank frowned. Rewritten how? I'm not sure yet. But look at this comparison. She pulled up another image. This is normal, human tissue. And this is the Draconian tissue as it's breaking down. See the pattern emerging? Frank stared at the screen, his eyes widening. That's impossible. It's starting to match human cellular quantum patterns. Not just human. I've compared it to samples from every Earth species I could get. Plants, animals, fungi, bacteria. The Draconian cells are shifting to match a pattern that's common to all Earth life. Frank sat down heavily. What does that mean? I think, Olivia said slowly, that Earth was trying to convert them, not destroy them. On the moon, Captain Daniel Wright and his crew prepared for a new mission. The Pathfinder had been fitted with enhanced sensors designed to detect the unusual energy signature that had been recorded during the draconian disappearance. "Captain," said Susan Bennett, "the new equipment is online. We're ready to begin the solar system survey." Daniel nodded. "Good. Our orders are to start at the outer edge and work our way in. We're looking for any trace of the energy pattern or additional draconian fragments." "Do you think we'll find anything?" asked Jack Peters, the ship's pilot. "I don't know. But whatever happened here wasn't just a weapon being fired. I saw it with my own eyes. It was like the planet itself was reacting." In Geneva, the diplomatic talks had moved to a larger conference room. Maps and data were displayed on screens around the room. "You must understand our concern," said a tall, thin alien with 4 arms. "If Earth possesses technology that can make entire fleets vanish, the balance of power in the galaxy is severely disrupted." Ambassador Greg Watson, Earth's newly appointed representative to the Galactic Council, shook his head. "We understand your concerns, but we are not a threat to peaceful species. The Draconians came to destroy us. We defended ourselves." Shorthal stepped forward again. "There is something else troubling us. Our sensors detected an unusual pattern in Earth's biosphere during the event. It resembled consciousness, not human consciousness, but something far larger." The room fell silent. Alec glanced at the president, who remained stone-faced. "What exactly are you suggesting?" Ambassador Watson asked carefully. "We are suggesting," Zorthal said, "that your planet may be more than just a world. It may be alive in ways you don't yet understand." As the Pathfinder reached the orbit of Neptune, their sensors picked up something unusual. "Captain, I'm detecting fragments," Susan reported. "Similar composition to the ones we found in Earth orbit, but these are different." Daniel leaned over her console. "Different how?" "They're more intact. And they're changing. The molecular structure is shifting as we watch." Daniel stared at the readings. "Send a probe. I want a closer look without risking the ship." The small probe launched from the Pathfinder and approached the drifting fragments. Its cameras showed pieces of green metal slowly transforming. The draconian alloy was turning blue, and tiny crystalline structures were forming on its surface. "What are we looking at?" Daniel asked. Susan shook her head in wonder. "If I had to guess, I'd say those fragments are growing, like seeds." Back on Earth, Olivia's lab equipment suddenly lit up with alerts. The draconian tissue samples were changing more rapidly now, pulsing with a faint blue light. "Frank," she called urgently, "you need to see this." As they watched, the alien cells completed their transformation. They were no longer draconian, but they weren't human either. They had become something new. "I think," Frank said quietly, "that we're looking at the birth of a new species." In Geneva, as if responding to these discoveries, Zorthal suddenly went rigid. The other council representatives also reacted, some clutching their heads, others swaying on their feet. "What's happening?" Alec demanded. Gorthal's black eyes seemed to look through him. "A message is coming through the quantum network, from the galactic core. Earth is not alone. It has relatives." The blue-skinned alien looked at the humans with new respect and a touch of fear. "Your world is a nexus, one of the rarest entities in the universe, and it has just awakened. The Draconian Armada disappeared on Earth, and the galaxy can't explain it." 6 months had passed since the Galactic Council arrived on Earth. A joint research team of humans and aliens now worked together to understand what had happened to the Draconian fleet. They called their project Nexus Study, and their headquarters was a large complex built near the ancient stone structures of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. Dr. Olivia Martin stared at her computer screen, rubbing her tired eyes. She had been analyzing cell samples from various Earth species for weeks. There was a pattern forming in her data, but she couldn't quite see it clearly yet. "You should get some sleep," said Ziv, a small alien with silver fur and large eyes who had become her research partner. The Syrian scientist was an expert in quantum biology. "I'm close to something," Olivia replied. "Look at these results." Every Earth species, from bacteria to blue whales, shares this quantum signature in their cells. But nothing from off-world has it. Ziv leaned closer. That is unusual. In most star systems, life evolves with different quantum patterns. Olivia nodded. But on Earth, everything is connected. It's like all life here is part of a single quantum field. She ran another test, adding a sample from the transformed draconian tissue. The computer beeped and displayed a new result. Ziv, look. The transformed draconian cells are starting to show the Earth pattern. It's faint, but it's there. Ziv's fur bristled with excitement. This supports the Nexus theory. Your planet's biosphere operates as one unified quantum field, and it's capable of assimilating new patterns. Or rejecting them, Olivia said quietly. The Draconians came with harmful intent. And Earth defended itself, Ziv finished. Not humans, Earth itself. Meanwhile, Agent Paul Cooper of Earth Intelligence had been sent on a special mission. He was investigating ancient archaeological sites around the world, looking for evidence of previous extraterrestrial encounters. Paul stood in a newly discovered chamber deep beneath Göbekli Tepe. The walls were covered with carved images that looked nothing like the known artwork of ancient humans. His flashlight moved slowly across the stone, revealing images of reptilian figures being swallowed by the ground. "Are you seeing this?" he asked Dr. Linda Ross, the archaeologist who accompanied him. Linda nodded, her face pale in the flashlight beam. "These carvings are at least 12,000 years old. Look at the detail in the reptilian figures. They look exactly like the Draconians." Paul's light moved to another section of wall. Here, the carvings showed human-like figures bowing before a large sphere that seemed to be glowing. "That must represent Earth," Linda whispered. "They were worshipping the planet itself. Or maybe they understood something we've forgotten," Paul replied. His radio crackled. "Cooper, this is Director Evans. We found something similar at the underwater site off Japan. And teams in South America and Antarctica are reporting identical iconography. This wasn't isolated." Paul looked back at the reptilian figures being consumed by the Earth. "It's happened before," he said. "Earth has defended itself before." In Geneva, Commander Alec Hayes attended a high-level briefing with Zorthal and other members of the Galactic Council. The meeting room was filled with humans and aliens all watching as Zorthal presented their findings. "Our analysis is complete," the blue-skinned Arcturian said. "We believe your planet is what our ancient texts call a Nexus world." "And what exactly is a Nexus world?" President Clark asked. Another alien, a tall being with crystalline skin named Thiel, stepped forward. "In the simplest terms, a Nexus world is a living planet. Not just a world with life on it, but a planet that is itself alive and conscious." The room filled with murmurs. Alec leaned forward. "Are you saying Earth is sentient?" "Yes," Zorthal replied. "Though its consciousness is different from yours or mine. It thinks in geological time. What feels like quick action to Earth might take years from our perspective. Except when it's threatened," Thiel added. "Then it can act very quickly indeed." President Clark looked troubled. "If this is true, why are you only telling us now? Surely you knew this when we applied to join the Council." The aliens exchanged glances. It was Zorthal who finally answered. "We did not know. Nexus worlds are extremely rare. Our records mention only 3 others in the entire galaxy, and those are much older than Earth. Your world appears to be a juvenile specimen, just beginning to awaken to its true nature. And the Draconian attack triggered a defense response," Zorthal finished. "Earth perceived a threat to its biosphere and acted to neutralize it. On the edge of the solar system, the Pathfinder had completed its survey and was returning to Earth." Captain Daniel Wright sat in his cabin, reviewing the data they had collected. The fragments they had found near Neptune were now securely contained in the ship's science lab. There was a knock at his door. "Come in," he called. Susan Bennett entered, carrying a tablet. "Captain, you need to see this. The fragments have changed again." Daniel took the tablet and looked at the live feed from the lab. The former pieces of draconian ships had transformed completely. They now looked like small blue crystals that pulsed with inner light. "What are they?" he asked. "I don't know," Susan replied. "But they're emitting quantum signals identical to patterns we've detected from Earth's core." Daniel stood up. "Show me." In the lab, the crystals floated in containment fields, gently pulsing. As Daniel approached, the pulses seemed to quicken. "They're responding to your presence," Susan said. Suddenly, Daniel felt a strange sensation like a voice in his mind. It wasn't words exactly, more like feelings and images. He saw Earth from space, then felt a sense of connection to everything on the planet. "Susan," he said slowly, "I think they're trying to communicate." Back at Göbekli Tepe, Paul Cooper had assembled all the archaeological evidence. The same story was told in carvings and paintings across the globe. Reptilian invaders had come to Earth in ancient times, and the planet had defended itself. "It's not just that the images are similar," Linda explained to the research team. "The dating puts them all at the same time period, roughly 12,000 years ago. Something happened then that was witnessed globally." Dr. Frank Miller, who had joined the research team, nodded thoughtfully. "That matches with certain geological anomalies we've found in ice core samples. There was a brief but intense magnetic field fluctuation recorded in that time period. Just like what happened when the Draconian fleet disappeared," Olivia added. As they discussed these findings, the ground beneath them trembled slightly. It wasn't strong enough to be called an earthquake, more like a gentle vibration. "Did you feel that?" Paul asked. Before anyone could answer, all their computer screens flickered. Then, one by one, they displayed the same image. A double helix pattern that slowly rotated, but with strange additions that no one recognized. "What is that?" Linda asked. "Some kind of DNA?" "Not exactly," Olivia said, her voice filled with wonder. "It's similar to DNA, but there are elements I've never seen before. It's like a blueprint." "A blueprint for what?" Paul asked. Ziv moved, closer to the screen, his silver fur standing on end. "It appears to be a quantum communication protocol, a way to speak with Earth itself." In that moment, at scientific installations around the world, the same strange DNA-like pattern appeared on computers and screens. In orbit, astronauts on the International Space Station reported seeing the pattern glowing in Earth's atmosphere, and, on the Pathfinder, now approaching lunar orbit, Daniel Wright touched one of the blue crystals and felt the planet calling to him. The secret of Earth was finally being revealed, not just to humans, but to the entire galaxy. The Draconian Armada disappeared on Earth, and the galaxy can't explain it. 1 year had passed since the Draconian fleet vanished. Earth had changed in ways no one could have predicted. The Galactic Council had granted humanity full membership, and Earth was now under special protected status as a confirmed Nexus world. Not everyone in the galaxy was happy about this development. News had reached Earth that the surviving Draconian leadership was demanding justice. From their homeworld of Draco's Prime, they claimed that Earth had committed an act of genocide against their species. Major Nicole Adams stood in the new Planetary Defense Center, watching as her teams monitored space for any signs of trouble. The facility had been built into Mount Rushmore, with advanced sensor arrays hidden throughout the Black Hills. "Any unusual activity?" she asked her second-in-command, Sam Evans. "Nothing direct," Sam replied, "but we're picking up a lot of chatter from the direction of Draconian space. They're moving ships around, building up forces at their borders." Nicole frowned. Earth's defense forces had been strengthened with help from their new allies, but they were still no match for the full might of the Draconian Empire if they decided to launch an all-out attack. "What about the planetary defense system? Have we made any progress understanding it?" Sam shook his head. "Dr. Miller's team is still working on it. The problem is we don't control it. Earth does, and we still don't know how to communicate with a planet." At the Nexus Research Center in New Zealand, Dr. Bill Rhodes had developed a machine he called a quantum resonance chamber. It was designed to detect and analyze the energy patterns flowing through Earth's magnetic field. "The patterns are definitely not random," he explained to Olivia Martin, who had come to see his work. They follow sequences that resemble neural activity. Olivia looked at the flowing patterns on the large screen. Can we send signals back? Try to communicate? We've been trying, but with no success. Bill adjusted some controls and the patterns shifted. It's like trying to talk to a blue whale with a kazoo. We're just not speaking the same language. In that moment, the pattern suddenly changed. The flowing lines became more organized, forming shapes that looked almost like letters. What did you do? Olivia asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Nothing, Bill said. This is coming from Earth itself. The patterns continued to change, becoming more and more structured. Then, to their amazement, words began to form on the screen. I hear you. In deep space, strange things were happening. Stars near systems with draconian military presence experienced unusual flare activity. Wormholes temporarily formed and collapsed near draconian outposts, and ships traveling to or from Dracos Prime reported navigation problems. On a Syrian science vessel studying these phenomena, Ziv recorded his findings. The quantum patterns match those we've observed from Earth. It appears the Nexus world's influence extends far beyond its own solar system. His captain, a tall Syrian named Mira, looked troubled. Are you saying Earth is attacking the Draconians from across the galaxy? Not attacking, Ziv corrected. Warning. These are controlled demonstrations of power. Earth is telling the Draconians to stay away. Back on Earth, Captain Daniel Wright had been promoted to admiral and given command of humanity's first deep space exploratory fleet. The flagship, a vessel called Horizon, was being prepared for its maiden voyage. Daniel walked through the ship's corridors, inspecting the final preparations. The Horizon was a marvel of combined human and alien technology. But its most unusual feature was its core. He entered a circular chamber at the heart of the ship. Inside, protected by energy fields, floated one of the blue crystals that had formed from the draconian fragments. It pulsed gently with inner light. How is our guest doing? Daniel asked the technician monitoring the crystal. Stable, sir. Energy. Output is consistent. The crystal seems happy to be here. Daniel smiled slightly at the word, happy. But it felt right. Since his first contact with the crystals, he had sensed emotions from them, curiosity, peace, and something like excitement about the upcoming journey. Have you tried communicating with it today? Yes, sir. It responds to simple thoughts, especially from you. I think it likes you. Daniel approached the crystal. As he got closer, he felt the now familiar sensation of another presence in his mind, not intruding, just there like a friend standing nearby. We're heading out soon, he thought toward the crystal. Will you help us? The crystal pulsed brighter, and Daniel felt a sense of agreement. Then, unexpectedly, he received a clear image in his mind. Earth, seen from space, connected by threads of light to other planets scattered throughout the galaxy. Are those other Nexus worlds? He asked aloud. The crystal pulsed once, clearly meaning yes. At the Planetary Defense Center, alarms suddenly blared. Nicole rushed to the main console. What's happening? She demanded. We're detecting a massive energy surge coming from draconian space, Sam reported. They've activated something big, possibly a superweapon. On screens around the room, analysts watched as a massive draconian vessel moved into position near their sun. It was enormous, nearly the size of Earth's moon and shaped like a giant spear. What is that thing? Nicole asked. Sorthal, who had become Earth's permanent liaison with the Galactic Council, stepped forward. It is called the Sun Spear, a weapon capable of causing stars to go supernova. They built it centuries ago but have never used it. Not even the Council knew they had completed it. Are they targeting our sun? I believe so. They are making a desperate move. They know they cannot defeat Earth conventionally. Nicole turned to her communications officer. Alert all planetary defense systems, evacuate underground shelters, and get me the president immediately. But before anyone could act, something strange happened. All around the world, people suddenly stopped what they were doing. They felt a presence in their minds, gentle, but immense. For just a moment, every human on Earth shared the same vision. A network of living worlds connected across the cosmos, calling to each other. At the quantum resonance chamber in New Zealand, Bill and Olivia watched in awe as new words formed. On the screen, "Do not fear, I am not alone." In space, the massive draconian sunspear began to power up. Energy collected at its tip, building toward a devastating release that would destroy Earth's star and everything in the solar system. But just as the weapon reached full power, a pulse of blue energy rippled out from Earth's surface. It wasn't directed at the sunspear, however. Instead, it spread in all directions, passing through the Moon, Mars, Venus, and every other body in the solar system. When it reached the edge of the system, it seemed to vanish. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, from the direction of the galactic core, a response came. A wave of energy, similar to Earth's but vastly more powerful, swept through space. As it passed stars, they briefly pulsed with blue light. The draconian sunspear fired its weapon. The deadly energy beam shot toward Earth's sun, moving at near light speed, but it never arrived. Halfway to its target, the beam encountered the energy wave from the galactic core. There was a flash of light so bright that sensors throughout the galaxy temporarily overloaded. When the light faded, the sunspear was still there. But it had changed. Its dark metal surface now glowed with a faint blue light, and it was no longer pointed at Earth's sun. The weapon had been transformed, just as the draconian ships had been a year earlier. On the horizon, preparing for its first mission, Admiral Wright felt the crystal in the ship's core pulse with joy, and in his mind, he heard a clear message: the children of Earth are now under our protection. The balance must be maintained. The draconian armada disappeared on Earth, and the galaxy can't explain it. 2 years had passed since the draconian fleet vanished. Humanity had changed more rapidly than any species in recorded galactic history. The understanding gained from studying Earth's quantum nature had revolutionized physics, medicine, and space travel. Jack Wilson had been a simple farmer in Iowa before everything changed. Now he stood in a field of corn, his eyes closed, feeling the life around him. The plants, the soil, the insects, the air, all connected in a vast web of energy that he could not only sense but touch. Jack opened his eyes and raised his hand. A gentle blue glow surrounded his fingers. At his mental command, a wilted corn plant straightened, its yellow leaves turning green again as health flowed back into it. He wasn't alone in this ability. All across Earth, people were discovering they could connect with the planet's field consciousness. Some could heal plants and animals. Others could sense weather patterns or find underground water. A few, like Jack, could do even more. At the Nexus Research Center, Olivia Martin recorded Jack's demonstration with a mix of scientific curiosity and wonder. "How does it feel when you do that?" she asked. Jack thought for a moment. "It's like remembering how to do something I always knew but had forgotten. When I touch the field, I'm not really controlling anything. I'm just asking, and Earth responds. And you believe everyone has this ability?" "Yes, to different degrees. But we've always had it. We just didn't know how to use it until Earth woke up and showed us." Dr. Martin's research had revealed that humans had always been unconsciously connected to Earth's greater mind. The connection had remained dormant until the draconian threat forced a planetary awakening. In orbit around Earth, the Horizon prepared for its maiden voyage. The ship would be the first human vessel to travel beyond the solar system using the new quantum drive, which could fold space in ways previously thought impossible. Admiral Daniel Wright stood on the bridge, looking at his diverse crew. Besides humans, there were representatives from 20 alien species working together. Most surprising was the presence of Sark, a draconian who had been part of a small scientific vessel caught in Earth's transformation wave. Unlike other draconians, Sark's aggression had been replaced with curiosity. His scales had a faint blue tint, and he could sense the quantum field just as Jack Wilson could. "All systems are ready, Admiral," Sark reported. "The crystal core is fully integrated with the drive systems." Daniel nodded. "Thank you, Sark. Prepare for departure." The Horizon's mission was both diplomatic and exploratory. They would visit the other known Nexus worlds, establishing formal contact for the first time. But they would also search for signs of more awakening planets throughout the galaxy. As the quantum drive activated, the blue crystal at the ship's heart pulsed with energy. The horizon didn't just disappear into faster-than-light travel. It folded space around itself, making the vast distance between stars meaningless. Back on Earth, the transformed draconian sunspear had become an object of intense study. Under the supervision of Zorthal and the Galactic Council, scientists from dozens of worlds examined the massive structure, trying to understand how it had changed. "It's no longer a weapon," explained Dr. Frank Miller to a committee of world leaders. "It's become a kind of transmitter, connecting Earth to the other Nexus worlds." President Clark looked troubled. Could it change back? Become a threat again? Zorthal shook his blue head. "No, the transformation is complete and permanent. The Draconians who operated it have also changed. They now share Earth's quantum signature. On Dracos Prime, the changes were causing a revolution. Nearly a third of the population had been affected by contact with transformed ships or communications from Earth. These changed Draconians developed something their species had never known before: empathy. The Draconian High Command, desperate to stop the spread of what they called the Earth sickness, had quarantined affected individuals. But the change continued to spread, passed through quantum connections that no physical barrier could stop. In deep space, the horizon emerged near a star system that had never been visited by any council species. At its center was a planet that glowed with familiar blue energy, another Nexus world. "It's awake," said Sark in wonder, his reptilian eyes wide. "And it's young, like Earth." Daniel felt the crystal core of the ship pulse with excitement. Through his connection to it, he sensed the awakening planet reaching out. Curious about these visitors. "Open all receivers," he ordered. "Let's say hello." As the horizon established contact with the new Nexus world, something remarkable happened. The ship's crystal core began to grow, sprouting new structures that merged with the ship's systems. At the same time, the crew felt their connection to Earth strengthen, despite being light years away. "I understand now," Sark said quietly. "The crystals aren't just communication devices, they're seeds." On Earth, Jack Wilson stood on a hilltop watching the sunset. He could feel the horizon's discovery across the vast distance of space, as could many others who had developed their connection to the field. Dr. Olivia Martin joined him, notebook in hand. "Another one found," she said. "That makes 5 now." Jack nodded. "And more awakening, I can feel them stirring." "What does it mean for us, for humanity?" Jack looked up at the stars beginning to appear in the darkening sky. "I think we were always meant to be the connectors. Earth nurtured us, protected us until we were ready to help it join the others." "You mean we're like pollinators? Carrying Earth's essence to other worlds?" "Something like that. The Draconians almost stopped it from happening. That's why Earth defended itself." As night fell completely, the stars seemed to pulse with blue light, not visible to normal sight, but clear to those who had learned to see the field. In their homes and cities across the planet, people felt the gentle touch of Earth's mind, reassuring and guiding. Children born since the awakening showed even stronger connections, able to sense the field from birth. The disappearance of the Draconian armada hadn't been an end. It had been the first moment of something much greater, a cosmic awakening that had always been humanity's destiny to help spread. On the horizon, approaching the young Nexus world, Admiral Wright stood at the view screen. Behind him, his diverse crew worked together in harmony. The ship itself hummed with life, partly machine, partly crystal, partly something new that had no name yet. "Ready to make contact?" he asked Sark. The Draconian, once an enemy of Earth, now a partner in exploration, nodded his scaled head. "Ready, Admiral, the field is open." As the horizon established the first direct connection between two Nexus worlds facilitated by conscious beings, Earth pulsed with blue light visible from space. It wasn't saying goodbye to the travelers, but reminding them that distance was an illusion. They remained connected, part of something greater than any single world or species. A cosmic network slowly awakening to itself, with humanity serving as its messengers. And somewhere in the vast darkness between galaxies, something even larger stirred in response, reaching out with ancient awareness to welcome the newcomers to a conversation that had been going on since the birth of stars.